Hello, everybody. This is JCK. I have some fabulous people I would love to introduce you to, and I'm so excited about this. I've done a group of videos called Highlight on Healers, and right now I've got the most amazing healers you'll ever meet, and it's my absolute pleasure to introduce them to you. And this is the wonderful Laura Whitworth from Soul Center Healing Hypnosis, and her student and also fellow practitioner, Tony Murray. So,
Hey.
hey, I absolutely love you both. And Laura, I want to thank you so much for being on. Both of you, I feel like I've known you forever. It's only been really, let me introduce you first before I talk about our story about how we feel as though we all know each other and we're from the same kind of soul clan. And this is Laura Whitworth, all the way from the UK. Laura, say hi to everybody.
Hello, everybody. It's lovely to meet you all.
I know a lot of my audience already does know you, Laura. A lot of them were very excited that I was doing the interview tonight. And Laura is a clinical hypnotherapist. You did clinical, therapy as well?
Psychotherapy, yeah.
Psychotherapy. She's an author and she's a coach as well. And she's created a modality of hypnotherapy, which she's been doing for so long. That's called Soul Center Healing. And she's running programs to train people how to do this type of healing, and it is incredible, mind-blowing, absolutely, out of all the therapies I've ever done in my life. And I'm constantly doing work on myself, and I've been doing this for decades. I have to say that this modality is the most impressive thing I've seen so far. It is the type of therapy that is for this age. It is really something that is going to transform your life and will clear you, and will also put the healing in your hands as well, because you're working alongside the therapist. But we'll talk more about this modality. And Tony was the one who did the therapy on me. So I wanted to invite Tony on. Now, I met Tony, was it about a year ago? It would have been about May, I think, last year.
I think it was a year.
Yeah. Me and Mark were doing a live Q&A, and it was just an impromptu thing. And we started inviting audience members on. And I remember you came on and we were just like so impressed with you. Here was this guy with this really crappy internet in Tennessee. And we were like, oh my God, his voice is amazing. And this. And you were telling us that you're a paramedic and you're living out on the ranch and you're working hard, but you were ready for a career change. Yeah. And I met you at that point, and I remembered saying to you, I think you're going to use your voice for healing people. And then
and with my crappy internet, I didn't hear that.
And then you did some tuning fork things. So let's start. First, we'll start with Laura, because I would love to hear. I just love you. We got to talk finally yesterday, Laura, and I was just so excited to hear about you. And you and I are so alike. We've both got a theatre background. We've both homeschool. We've got all this amazing. But you're an author. You write, an amazingly accomplished woman. And I wanted everyone to know about your journey and how you created this. And then obviously we'll talk to Tony and how he got into this. But please tell us about your, what this is about, and why am I so excited?
So I developed this modality, which essentially it's a quantum hypnosis modality, but it also incorporates entity removal. So all of these energetic parasites which attach to people and feed off of people, this hypnotherapy modality takes those off at the front end and then allows you to go into a really, really deep and profound quantum travel and connect very, very deeply to your higher self. But basically how I got into all of this is on my journey through hypnotherapy and psychotherapy and healing people. I found quantum healing and I trained in that with Dolores Cannon. and started practicing. And I found out really early on that there was a type of client that would arrive, and they all kind of felt the same, quite anxious, quite shifty, won't relax. You try and get them into hypnotherapy and they'll need the bathroom a lot. They'll start complaining about having pain in the body. All of a sudden, they don't want to do it anymore. They can get quite angry. And I used to feel so disheartened as a practitioner, because I used to think, why can't I get this certain percentage of people into hypnotherapy? And I really started to ponder what was going on. And I knew there was something else going on that I didn't know. I knew there was. And then one day this lady came to my office, and the second she walked in, like the whole atmosphere changed, you know, when you just think, oh, what's that? And I didn't know anything about energy work or energy bodies or anything like that at this point. I just could feel that something else had just happened. And when I got this lady into the session, we went into a very, very dark past life, and straight away this demon came up and basically started swearing at me. She started writhing on the bed, speaking in a language that I'd never heard before. It was like speaking in tongues. She started spitting, and she basically told me to F off because this person on the bed was his. And I'm thinking, what on earth is going on? You know, I had no clue at the time what was happening. So I ended up having a conversation with this demon, which is what it was, which was quite truthful and quite frank and quite honest. And I think we both got a lot out of that conversation, to be honest. And in the end, I, not having any training, not knowing what to do, the only thing I could think of was to call on Archangel Michael and say, Michael, I need you to come. I need you to help. I need you to remove this demon, because this lady does not consent to it being attached. And that was a very traumatic experience for me. It was my first experience of going toe to toe with the dark energy. And from that point on, I made it my life's mission, if you will, to find out what these energies are. How is it that they become attached to people? When they become attached to people, what is it that they're doing to these people? How are they affecting them? How are they getting in? And how can we identify these and take them off? And so I read everything that I could find. I watched everything I could find. And it was from that moment on that my entire life changed. And I went from having clients that would go into amazing quantum lifetimes and, you know, there'd be unicorns and fairies and mermaids, to all of a sudden, every single client I got brought me a demon that I had to deal with literally overnight. And so when I'd done so many of these sessions that I felt, right, I really know what I'm doing now, to the point where there's different types of personalities for different levels of demon. There's different types of demons and energies that will attach to the sacral versus the solar versus the throat. And you start to recognize what kind of color energy certain demons and entities are. I started to work out what color energies the different earthbound spirits were, because you've got humans that don't cross over correctly that will attach, and that's normally due to addiction or trauma. And so I started to document all of this. And then when the lockdown, through what we all know what happened in 2020 happened, I thought, right, this is the point in time I need to move online, because I was doing all of this face to face. And then I decided to teach other people how to do it. So I went from just doing it myself to rolling it out worldwide and teaching people all over the world how to do this modality.
Wow. And how long ago was that, Laura? How long ago did you start the, well, when did you first have that lady come to you writhing on the bed to developing the practice?
It's been the whole journey. My journey from start to finish to this point has been 10 years. But I rolled out Soul Center Healing Hypnosis to the wider public in April of last year.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so
new.
I only started teaching people last year, but the time is right now. The world was not ready for this before. And if I'd have tried to roll it out even 5 years ago, people, I feel, even at that point, wouldn't have accepted it.
I will agree with you, because when I began my channel, I don't know if you know this, Laura, but when I began my channel was September 2020, and I apparently shocked a whole heap of people, and that's why it went viral, by telling everyone my first video was a remote view underground of Australia, and I saw demons, and I actually saw physical demons, and I had not expected that. And I described this to people, and it sort of, people began to come out of the woodwork going, I've seen them. So everything that we thought was fiction, which this world has created into a fiction, began to become real. The movies had made it like it was like The Exorcist or something, that if someone had something attached to them, they'd be green and they'd be spitting out things, and or they would make it that only silly people from the Middle Ages thought that medical problems were from demons. That we know that's not true now. So you're right. This is the time. These things that we thought were fiction are starting to become more widely accepted as real. And I just want to applaud you, first of all, because this is miraculous. So keep going and tell us more about your experiences in developing this and now rolling it out to train other people.
So what I found through my work is that most of the people that have these darker energies attached, they have had something happen to them in their life which has fractured their aura and affected one of their energy centers, which has allowed these energies in. Now, if you think about how our world is set up, everything's set up to traumatize us, everything from day one. There will be something that happens to everybody, probably within the first 5 years of their life, that affects their root, probably their sacral, and also their solar plexus. Our entire world is set up to make us feel less than, we're not as good as this person because we haven't got this, or we don't look like this. Our entire world is all set up around sex as well. So you've got all of these damaged people that have got issues with sex, issues with survival. And at the moment, that's basically what's going on in the world. Everybody is having to focus on their root because everything's so expensive. And, so every single person at some point will have something that causes an emotion within them, and that will have come from a trauma, and that then impacts one of the energy centers. It creates a fracture, it weakens the aura, and these things can get in. And also things like addiction, grief will let these things in as well. If you've got a really bad injury and you end up staying in hospital, these things can get in, and obviously you get a lot of earthbound spirits roaming around hospitals as well. So I started to document the different types of energies that you can find, the different types of earthbound spirits, what colors they tend to be when we find their energy attached to the body, how they affect the body. And when I felt that I had enough of an understanding myself, and by no means am I saying that I'm an expert. I don't think anybody can be an expert in this stuff. There's so much to learn. But when I got to a point where I thought I've got enough knowledge now to pass that on to others, then that's when I began to roll this out. But you will see clients that come in to see you, whether it's online or whether it's face-to-face, they will talk about certain traumas that they've had, sexual traumas that have affected the sacral energy center. And then when you get them in session, you will find that they have got a demon or a particular entity that is siphoning or manipulating the energy of that particular energy center. And the sacral energy center seems to be the most popular in terms of dark energies.
Absolutely, yes. I recently interviewed a shaman, Quiet Bear, his name is, and he said this, he works in the ethers, basically fighting these entities or clearing them from people. And he said the same thing, that the sacral is like a feeding tube. It's literally like and he said they're cords, the energetic cords that we unknowingly attached to other people. We might have a minor interaction with someone and we'll connect to another person. And then sometimes these tubes or these connections will start to siphon our energy, and that's how entities can get in. So you're absolutely right. It's the sacral usually. I've seen in readings, because I've done readings online and things like that with people, psychic readings, and I'll always, if I pick up on a sexual trauma from childhood, there is inevitably I see it in my, it's hooked in, and it's usually around the root chakra, and it will be an entity that's been there for a while, and it becomes almost part of their personality, and they're not even aware of it, and it may be driving them to do really bad stuff. to other people.
And that's where the hypnotherapy side of things and the therapy is really useful in identifying and taking these entities off, because that what you've just said right there, some people think that this is a part of their personality.
That's the Witiko. Witiko. Have you heard of that? Yeah.
I watched your
Yeah.
recent interview, but it's getting people to understand, whilst you do the hypnotherapy, that whilst this has always been there, it's not actually their energy. And there's a lot of guilt attached for people as well. You know, many people do things, particularly when they're younger, because they're under the influence of a demon, that they feel so ashamed about. And it's not until they get older that they realize, oh, hang on, I've spent my whole life beating myself up over that thing that I did when I was younger, and it wasn't even me. It wasn't even me. There's so much healing to be done around this for humanity. You know, as a race, as a group of beings, we have been massively manipulated, and most of people's issues and problems that they think are them, they're not even theirs. They're not even theirs.
And there's nothing to feel guilty about, is there? I mean, we live in a realm where we've been invaded by parasites, basically. And I want to talk to Tony really quickly. How are you, Tony? He's sitting there
I'm
listening
good.
to us.
I'm actually, I'm on a show with two divine feminine energies, and I'm just gonna sit here and listen.
Well, I thought I'd wear red because apparently alchemically the red is the female. It is the root. We're talking about root chakra. It is, but it's the mother and earth energy. So, Tony, I mean, I'm listening to Laura, and I can hear. We were talking about frequency of voice, and we were talking about how a person's voice, if you've got that ability to feel it and hear it from your heart, it has the sound, the resonance of truth, or a resonance of a higher frequency, or of the light. And when I listened to Laura, I mean, I was so drawn to her, and same with your voice as well, Tony. Very easy to listen to during hypnosis. And you command attention when you're trying to rid demons out of people. And so obviously you were drawn to, I mean, how did you come across Laura's work? Because one minute you were doing the tuning fork thing, and then how did you come? I'm just so grateful, first of all, that I came across your work, Laura. Thank you so much. But it's just, honestly, people, like we're not even describing exactly what it is yet, like how brilliant this is. But Tony, how did you come across Laura's work?
I mean, that's a long story. It's like an epic journey. I mean, I think most people know me and see my channel and stuff. I mean, I've been a medic for 30 years, working in the shit, working in, going in the darkest day to help people out. And I never realized that all this stuff is out there and could attach to me without protection.
Oh, you would be in the thick of it, wouldn't you?
But that whole time working as a medic, and my wife's a nurse as well, so we're in the medical field deep, and I did special teams, SWAT teams, stuff like that. But I always knew that the medical field was shit. There was always something deeper. And JC doesn't mind my swearing, do you?
No. You heard me swearing my head off in the session with you, so no, go for it.
The English language is so dry. You just can't explain what you're trying to say. That's all I got to say. But anyway, so, 30 years of working as a medic, and I'd go into people's houses. They have this long list of medications that ain't doing anything. They go in for treatment, they get some relief for a while, then it comes back with a vengeance and keeps going. So brings me to 2 years ago, and that's all I've been on this journey now for 2 years. So when this all happened, I'm feeling anxious, I'm feeling fearful, but I don't need to be. I don't know why I am. So I start researching, and I went down the information rabbit holes, and I'm like, holy shit, they did this, they did that. But then after a while of doing that, you realize, that's what they did to us. Let's not focus on what they've done and what they are doing. Let's heal. Let's change this reality and make it better. So how are we going to do that? There's something deeper that's affecting people, and I just kept trying to find that thing that was doing it. So I found tuning forks, and I trained in tuning forks, and frequency is a beautiful thing. And all these modalities are beautiful. And I think each one of these things that I came across on this little short 2-year journey has been a signpost for me to get me to this point, to get me to the meeting Laura and finding Laura. So, you know, like most of us as hypnotherapists, we come across Dolores Cannon. We love her work. We read into it, watching everything we can. Then you find Alba Weinman. Then you're throwing all her stuff. And then I come across Heather Hink. And of course, I was following you and Mark for the longest time. And I still am. But I've been trying to train, and so I haven't been able to watch many of your videos, and I apologize. But so
you.
then I found Heather Hink, and she was doing beyond quantum healing hypnosis, and she trained in that. And I'm like, that is what I need. That is what I need to heal myself. So I took quantum healing or beyond quantum healing hypnosis, and I'm doing sessions on family and friends, and I never really ventured out. I knew I wanted to get online somehow because I needed something. I needed to get this out to help heal everybody else, because that's what I'm training for, to heal everybody, to help everybody, to rescue everybody. And so I'm doing it on friends and family. My wife, I did 2 sessions on her. I ran into a huge block each time where she described it as a dark energy in her chest. She became anxious, sweating profusely. And she's like, I don't know what this is, but I got to get out. You got to let me out. So I tried running white light healing energy over her. Boy, that made it worse.
They don't like that, do they? They don't like that white light.
No. So
No.
I'm like, I gotta find something else. There's something going on, something deeper. There's something that needs removed. So about that time, and Alba was doing entity removal for a while, and I was watching her stuff. Well, about that time, Heather Hink starts doing entity removal. I'm like, oh my God, that's what I need. That's what I need. And then she talked about Laura, and it wasn't until Laura was interviewed on Atwood's show about entity release that I actually found her, and I saw Laura on there, and I'm like, holy shit, there she is. So I contacted her, and then I got in her course, and that's why we're here. But I mean, I think all those past experiences in this life journey, and past lives too, are played a factor in to get me to this point and this day. That training of going in and helping and rescuing people in those dire situations, as while I'm doing this hypnosis therapy, it comes into play every time.
Guys, I can see that. Yeah, you are, because and you command. You need to be able to think quickly on your feet as a hypnotherapist, don't you?
Yeah.
Especially with what you're dealing with, because with what you're dealing with. And I mean, I watched back our session, which was an epic 5 to 6 hours, by the way, everybody. We threw the clock out the window. Not that it was just epic information coming through. And you can, the way you handled that, it was like a hostage negotiation. It was amazing.
It really is.
It was crazy, and I just loved that. But yeah, I could see, as I watched it back, I was like, I could see why he was a paramedic. Yeah, I understand how that came into play. I mean, this is just, it's mind blowing. This stuff that I'm witnessing. I never thought I would be blown away by anything. I didn't know what to expect. Also, everybody. So when Tony did this fucking thing came through and started talking through me, I was like, what the fuck is this? What is this? And I remembered in the session going, this isn't part of me, it's behind me. It's not me, it's behind me. Because I didn't think it wasn't hooked into me. It was really angry that it couldn't get in. That was one thing that we got with that particular, I won't just tell anyone anything, but it was angry that it couldn't get in. So Laura, this is, do you think that this came from God? Because honestly, yeah,
it's not mine. It's just flowed through. It's been given as a tool for all of us to use, because we need to get clean and clear from these
I-
parasitical beings and take our power back.
I'm so like I know I'm still gasping, and because I'm so, how do I explain this? I came back from a 5-day solitude thing. I was supposed to do a vision quest, like a Native American vision quest. It got cancelled, so I booked a 5-day thing for myself alone in nature on a tiny home off grid, right? And so I'm going through this journey, and then it ends with this session coming back home with Tony.
Wow.
And we asked what was the purpose of the 5-day thing, and they said to prepare you for this. Like all the downloads I got, it was to prepare me for this, right? All the meditation I did, it was to prepare me for this. And I literally had to be on 3 days of bed rest afterwards. They said, you need to rest, you need to rest, you need to rest, because whatever was cleared out of me was ancient stuff. There was stuff from past lives, from ancient times that needed to be cleared. And I felt the frequency it was such high angelic frequency. I have no doubt in my mind, this is not new age mumbo jumbo, people. I swear to you, it was, I have proof. Let's just say it that way. I have proof that what was working through us is angelic and of the highest realm, and unbelievably blessed to have you both here and to share this with the world. And Laura, you want to tell everyone that you're running this course live.
Yeah.
So tell us about that.
I teach people obviously how to do this, because I want as many people as possible to have this information, so that then we've got an army of light that's helping people, and then those people help people, and it just spreads out. So we're all clean and clear. But my next course is actually next week. So it's Wednesday, Thursday, Friday of next week. And I do run one every month. So if people can't make it next week, don't worry. if this calls to you, we run one every month.
So Laura, June 1st, June 2nd, and June 3rd of 2022, just so if someone's watching this later on, they know what we're talking about next week.
Brilliant. Thank you.
It's
Thank
definitely,
you, Tony.
and it's definitely because we've got worldwide things. So even though Australia is ahead, it's still 1st of June in Australia when the course is run, and 2nd and 3rd. Okay. I want to just, as we're talking about angels, can I just ding this, which I forgot to ding? This is my angel frequency, the crystal tuning fork. You probably won't be able to hear it in my microphone.
I can hear it. It's
you
beautiful.
can?
Yeah.
This really does bring in the angels, because I swear to you, in my session,
it's very high, that, isn't it? It's
very
beautiful.
high. It's 4,096 hertz. That's how high it is.
Oh, yeah.
This really does clear. Now, one of the entities, I just want to explain to people, because we'll talk about the mechanics of how this works as you're running through and you're asking, the hypnotherapist is asking, is there any dense energies anywhere? I got something in my ears, and they were gremlins in the earphones. And what was the first, Tony said, if you had something, if this consciousness has anything to say, what does it want to say? And it said, piss off.
Yeah. Tell me to piss off.
He was polite then.
And Tony said, and I could see these things. And the reason why I brought up the tuning forks, and I'll have to get David Holson back again. The reason why I brought up the tuning forks is that once we cleared these gremlins, which were, they work in the Wi-Fi, this is what they said, the Wi-Fi, the EMF, the electromagnetic stuff in the devices, and they get in our ears and they read our thoughts. They actually said, and I saw it in real time, these things were going, and they were reading my mind, and they were taking my weaknesses and repeating it back to me, and putting these and playing with the thoughts. They said that they don't get to have fun if you get rid of them, because they said they don't want to go because they won't get to have fun anymore. And they said that they were programmed to do this. Yeah. And when Tony asked, who is your master? I saw very clearly in my head, they were saying, you call them the Illuminati, but they are the masters of sound. and they showed me in my head some very well-known musicians out there with the Sir title in front of their names. And they said that they were like magicians, and they would program, that they said that we weren't always bad, and that they were created from these energy forms in the ether and programmed into these little elementals to create chaos and havoc through our devices. And they said that one way to clear them would be to use, they said they liked the frequency of this sound. It reminded them of home, which they actually originally came from, the light. And so I think, Tony, you asked how can we get rid of them? Is that one of the questions that you ask?
No, they were funny little fuckers.
They were.
And so I guess what I want to reiterate, I absolutely love taking these dark entities, whatever you want to call them. They're just lost from light.
They are.
No, I want to make sure that nobody's like scared of this.
No,
And I absolutely have a lot of love for these things, because I'm like, you know what, I'm helping them, see
hostage negotiation is amazing.
Yeah. I'm helping them find their light within them, because it's within all of us, and I'm helping them get back to where they came from, back home, back to continue on a journey for themselves, and they don't have to be controlled. So to me, it's so much fun. But
Yes.
they were so funny, because they're like, well, we really don't want to do this.
Yeah.
And then I go, well, you don't have to. I can help you. And if I just we're going to all share our light. We're going to show you that you have it inside you. And they saw it, and they're like, oh my God.
Then they said,
how
can you help free the rest of us? Yeah.
Yeah. How are you going to help the rest of them? I'm like, well, we're going to help you guys out. And then when they come to me, I will help them.
I'll do a video about these little entities, because I we won't describe them here, but I can talk about some of the things I discovered in my own session about them. But Laura, talk about that essentially, and it's really easy to get caught up in that duality of black and white, dark and light, or bad and good, evil and good, but what's your discovery in dealing with these entities? Because you're not going, damn you to hell. You're not doing that to these attachments, even though they're creating so much harm in some cases, and some cases have been sent to kill people, via covens or whatever. Okay. Yeah. What is the same thing across the board? What are you seeing with these entities? What are you seeing?
For me, I always hold inside of me the deepest amount of compassion. And I think that's the key word for me in doing this work. It's compassion for these entities, because many of them, particularly the lower level, the minions, the underlings, they don't want to be doing what they are being made to do. And it's very much a hierarchy and a control structure. And the ones higher up that have got a bit more power, they're a bit more crueler. They're the ones that are more difficult to negotiate with. And that's when it becomes like a hostage negotiation. But for the majority of the ones that are sent to keep the humans down, take the energy, cause problems and issues for light workers, those guys don't want to be doing it. And once you make them understand that all this time they've been lied to be kept lower, to do these jobs, and that they have this light within them. And what we do is we get the archangels to shine some of their light onto the spark that's inside of these energies, and you'll see the look of puzzlement on their faces. And I do all of my sessions with my eyes shut, because I can see the entities as well. And when you find that spark inside of the entities and you begin to make it bigger, you can see the look on their faces of, what the hell is this? Oh my God. And then once you've got that light 50% as big as what they are, they start to move faster. They start to become, they have more energy. As soon as it's 100% as big as them, once that energy is through, that's it. There's no more negotiation needs to be done. They are ready to go.
Can I describe the stages that I noticed in this negotiation? So you start off with this very belligerent kind of creature usually. And usually there's a fuck off in there at some stage.
Absolutely.
Right.
1000%.
Or go away, like that
Yeah.
kind of thing, right?
Yeah.
And then there is a description of why they're doing what they're doing. And then there's usually a case of, I don't know why I'm doing this. I've been made to do it.
Yeah.
And then there's, I've been tethered. They're usually, especially if they're demons, they're tethered to something. They're chained. They don't know they've got free will.
Yeah.
When they discover they've got free will, they then say, oh, but won't I be judged? Am I going to be punished?
That's what they always think. My masters will hurt me. They'll hurt me.
They'll hurt me. Are they going to find out? And that was something that came through in mine, was they said, but will my masters find me? And Tony very beautifully said, no, you will be more powerful than your masters. You will be of the light. And then as soon as there's that switch to the light, what I noticed, Laura, was they then spill the freaking beans. they spill the beans. Yeah. And they're dobbing everyone out. There's another one down there. And there's one over there.
One's hiding in the foot.
There's another one hiding. Yes, there was that. And then they'll go, oh, there's one higher up from me. And they'll talk about a hierarchy. And then they'll say, and then the compassion comes through. I'm so sorry I did this to you.
Yeah. And they always want to say, I'm sorry.
They always say, I'm sorry. And as I was going through this session, one thing that I could feel on one level was, oh my God, this is like humans. We think we don't have any power. We think that our masters are going to get us into trouble. We don't take control of our own sovereignty. We don't have any sovereignty. We've given all our power away. We think we don't have any free will. And that once we are shown the light and we are free, the compassion flows through, the heart connection flows through. And these entities actually have compassion, and they have a connection to source because they're from source.
Yeah. They feel the love. As soon as you've got that light all the way through them, that's it. The negotiation is over then. They just want to go. They're so happy.
So can you, because Tony did ask some of the entities, what advice do you have, or what could, because some of them were throwing out amazing. I was like, oh my God, they're on my side now. What the hell? Like, they were saying things, like, oh, don't do this, or like, make sure you do this, or whatever, before they left. Can you trust that advice, Laura? What do you think?
I think for everything, we always have to run it through our own center of truth, don't we? And I would say don't trust anything that any of them say until they're fully converted on the other side. Once they're fully converted on the other side, and then they could come back as a guide and, give you help that way. But and going back to what you said earlier, there is no judgment in all of this. It's all experience. Everybody's on a journey. And without those dark energies, how would we know that we're light? But in this game of earth, those that want to follow the path of the light should be allowed to experience the fullness of that choice without being tethered or hindered by these darker energies. And so that's where I find my peace around what I do. If somebody asks me to help them, they are giving me their consent that they don't want these darker energies to be attached. And so it's not like I'm judging these darker energies, but I'm just giving them the opportunity. And that's what we do as practitioners. We give them the opportunity to go to the light. And they always will. Once they've felt the light within them, they always will go back to the light, because it's actually not that much fun on the other side unless you're right the way up the top of the tree. And there's only so many of them. There's only so many in that structure. They
really felt the relief. I was surprised, but I love the way the way you worded it. I mean, Tony, you were basically giving them a choice. You didn't say, now go to the light. You said, now, if you want, there is a choice here. There is a choice, and there are some angels, and they will surround you, and just listen to what they have to say. They have something to tell you. And, so there was this choice, and it was this beautiful thing, and you could see it in. Could you explain how this works? Because what are we tapping into when we are hypnotized? A lot of people might be afraid of that, because I was a bit shocked going, hang on a minute, I'm not possessed. Why is this thing talking through me? But the way I kind of understand it is we're tapping into the unconscious mind, or the higher state of consciousness, which is connected to everything.
Yeah, that's essentially it.
And then
so when you're altering someone's brainwave state, so as we're talking now, we're in beta. As soon as you close your eyes, or if you're watching something a bit boring on TV or washing the pots, you go into alpha, which is an altered brainwave state. The state that we work in is theta. So it's the lowest and deepest brainwave state before delta, which is sleep. So when you get somebody into that theta brainwave state, they become connected to other parts of their soul, connected to, other parts of their multidimensional self, the superconscious, connected to all that is. Because basically we're all connected, aren't we?
yes,
We are one. We are
it's
the
amazing.
all.
But then it comes through. This is what I am trying to understand, is my face changed because I'm like expressing what this thing, because I could hear it. And then there's a part of me going, okay, you need to explain what this thing's saying. And then my whole face changed. And then you could see as the light came in, it was changing, and its realization, and it's all being expressed on the person being hypnotized. It's pretty amazing. And this is a proof of connection to everything, isn't it?
It's incredible stuff. And when we teach the courses, that's one of the things that I teach people. When you are regressing somebody down through the hypnotic states, you've got to watch the body signs, because the second that person starts to get shifty and itching around, or the face starts to go into a snarl, you've got a demon that's coming up to speak. So you need to get
my
a net
face
of
was like,
yeah.
I should have gotten like a little still of how my face was like this.
Yeah.
And there was this one point where I think, Tony, you were telling it to go to the light, and one of them was going, it's just like shifted its head like, I don't want to.
Yeah, you were a pretty easy read. I mean, it was pretty descriptive. I'm like, I knew what was going on. So
I don't have a poker face ever. It was pretty amazing. Yeah. Amazing experience of that. And do people get scared with this when they are a client, when they're in session? Can they
so
be?
we have to tell people at the front end, and we don't go into it in too much detail because you don't want to scare people that way before the session, but we kind of say to them, look, there is this thing called entity release that we do at the front end, and you might not be aware, but we have an energetic body and an aura, and that sometimes there can be these other beings in a different dimension that can attach to your energy, siphon it off, manipulate the consciousness. And if we find anything like that, we'll take it off. And there's nothing to be scared of, because it's not like that entity's just pulled up for the session and gone, hiya, I heard you were doing a session today. Yeah, I'd like to be involved. They've been there and around and with that person, sometimes just trying to get in for a long time.
Yeah, this one was trying to get in. Like, I felt it like, I think Tony, sorry for interrupting, Laura. Tony said, scan your body, is there any heaviness? And I felt this pain in my shoulder. And I thought, I'm going to ignore that. And I thought, maybe that's just the way I'm sitting. And then I thought, no, there's something behind. And it's like you can see it in your mind's eye. I felt this male energy just staring at me like it hated me. And I was like, what the hell is that? And I thought it was going to be a human, and I thought it was going to be a past life or something. Some guy hated me, whatever. And the next thing oh gosh. So that I'm telling the audience, because I just want you to understand that if you get a session and you book a session with Tony or Laura or any of the other amazing practitioners that are connected to Laura, just be prepared that your mind will see things, and then just be honest and express it. And you'll, as long as you go in prepared for that, the amazing information that can come through. Now, can you explain how, because I very clearly remember saying, this isn't in me. It's not hooked into me. It's trying to get to me, but it's not here. So how are they is it part of, it's not part of our auric field, it's just in our energy, it's trying to, it's around us, like in this particular situation, it wasn't hooked in.
So for many people, what happens is they will have a trauma, or a trauma happens to them, it causes an emotion that affects a certain one of their energy centers. That energy center becomes fractured, it causes a gap in the auric field, and these entities and energies can then get in and siphon energy from that particular energy center. So what I find is, you'll get, as an example, you'll get somebody that will come and say, I've got no sex drive, nothing, it's completely gone, and I feel no joy in my life whatsoever. I don't want to live anymore. And that's because they've got one of these entities, these demons, literally hooked in and siphoning all of their orange sacral energy out. And there's different ways that they can get in as well. So sometimes they can put little hooks, little implants, and manipulate people that way. In other people, they put AI systems in the body.
I didn't have any.
So
That's good.
they'll run AI.
Yeah.
And this AI, it can manipulate the nervous system.
Oh, yeah.
Obviously, you'll get earthbound spirits as well, which can be attached to people. Say, for example, if someone's an alcoholic, that will weaken their auric field, and they will end up attracting 20 other alcoholic spirits that attach to them. And then that person's never going to beat alcohol.
Oh, you
because they're not,
fucking bastards. Holy shit.
yeah, because they're not
So
only
they got all these drinking buddies in the evenings.
yeah, that are all around going, we want to drink, we want to drink, we want to drink. So that person,
yep.
no matter how much they try to stop drinking, they're not going to be able to until they have all of those earthbound spirits removed and off to the light. And in the training courses, I teach people how to identify from the colors of energy that we can see what type of earthbound spirit you've got. So normally, like a dirty yellowish color will be an alcoholic earthbound spirit. Dirty browny color will be a heroin addict. You know, a reddy orangey colored energy will be somebody that's been murdered, very angry and attached to somebody's auric field. So I mean, this stuff is just so interesting and so profound.
I was describing palettes of, like an artist. Remember, Tony? I was like, it's a stormy blue-gray. pale aqua. And Tony's going, what? Magenta.
Well, we'll just pick red.
So funny. I had to repeat it a few times. It was so funny, but yeah.
What I want to explain something though here though too, Laura, because let's take it back to medical so JC's viewers can understand it. So we have all this stuff that attaches to our energetic field, and you know the medical system wants us to believe that our bodies, or these earth suits, are mechanical systems. We're going to cut stuff out that's not working, we're going to poison it, we're going to kill it off so it functions again. Well, that's not how it works. They're electrical systems. And if that, you know, these entities and attachments and emotional traumatic blockages gets in their energetic field and causes a blockage in that flow of energy through the system. And I mean, I love describing the medical caduceus. To me, that is the electrical system with the neutral pole running up the center. And then you got your two positive and negative snakes running up that center. So where those snakes cross that pole is your energy centers, your chakra points. So if it's like a kink in a wire, you have an emotional trauma, entities and stuff attached, it causes a blockage in that energetic system, which then manifests physically into the body as either pain or ailments and stuff like that. These bodies heal by themselves. They'll heal from anything as long as you clear that blockage and help that flow of energy and electricity through the body.
These entities are the blockages, right?
And the earthbound spirits, so too, like with addictions, because when they, you know, if they died from an addiction, they died from alcohol poisoning, they died from a traumatic event, they're all of a sudden their spirit, their soul, their essence is shot out of the body, and it maintains that personality or the emotion that at that moment. because it's not till they cross over to the light where they're supposed to that they actually get all their knowing and back. So they're stuck in that deal. And so they will find someone that maybe can help them. They'll go to family to tell them that this happened, and find they can't be talked, or they can't talk to them, or they'll attach to somebody that has that addiction because they need that fix.
Yeah. Wow. So what about like, I guess like frequenting pubs, you'd have a lot of disincarnate spirits, and there'd be bar brawls and all that sort of stuff like that. I mean, that would be hooked into a lot of people, and then you've got the weakened sort of auric field of these people going to these bars and pubs and things, and that would be attached. I mean, oh gosh, this all makes sense now. And
take me for an example as a paramedic,
or
any of our public service or medical, military. We're going in and we're under stress to begin with. The X's at home, or we got X's, we got stress, we got problems, and then we go into these places where these spirits are shocked out of the body, roaming around looking for help, and we come in as assistants.
Bright light. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And that's how they get attached, and they're able to be attached just because, oh, I'm stressed today, I'm down, I'm depressed, or a lot of us have alcohol addictions.
Yes, I was going to say, could that explain why a lot of emergency services people have a lot of alcohol problems? I know a lot of cops, they usually have a lot of alcohol addictions and things like that, and the traumas that they're constantly witnessing and seeing. And ex-military. Yeah, it's ex-military as well. So speaking of the military stuff, Laura, you were talking about AI attachments. When I've done any kind of healing on people, when I've tried to look through people's bodies, I've seen often in military people like a mechanical AI thing that's usually hooked into either like the pituitary gland or somewhere around the head, and it's like it's a mind control thing, right?
Yeah.
And so how can you explain how that is possible? Like it's energetic, right? It's not like a physical thing.
So there's two different types. There is a physical AI that we can take into the body, but then there's an etheric type of AI as well. And you'll often find when we do this work that when you look down people's energy bodies, most people will have something in the throat, like a little silver box or something in there. People will have things running up to the third eye, blocking the third eye from opening, up to the crown, stopping the crown from opening. And sometimes you'll get wiring that goes, etheric wiring that goes all the way down to the heart to stop the heart from opening out, because they don't want that heart energy opening out. It's game over. Once everybody's hearts are open, that is it, literally game over. It's getting everybody's hearts as humans to open up. So we've got to pull all of this AI out, get all of these parasitical energies off, help all of these earthbound spirits to cross over into the light. And then humanity can literally start the process of stepping into their full power. And I always use that analogy to explain on the courses about we as like awakened beings, we're like a hot air balloon that's tethered to the ground. And as soon as you start your awakening process, that hot air balloon starts to rise, but it's still tethered by these ropes and sandbags. And these ropes and sandbags are the entities and the earthbound spirits and the AI. And it's not until you cut all of these off that the hot air balloon can rise fully into the air. And that's what we're doing with this work. It's giving humans our power back.
It makes sense, because one of the entities, I've got a weak ankle and it was hooked in, and initially I just thought it was an energy, and Tony kept asking, is there something attached to that? And it felt like a ball and chain. And then finally I said, no, hang on a minute, there is something attached there. And it was full on. And it said, this bitch is staying here with us.
Yeah, that's pretty standard.
I'm like, I don't think so.
And then he said, no, she's not.
No, she is not.
No, she's not. And it was a big motherfucker, right? And it gave the name of what it was and who it was. And I don't know if they were hooked in, but they were connected to someone else. It was connected to an energy, and it was trying to play on that, or that emotion. But they found the weak spot in my body, which was my ankle. Now, since this, my ankle doesn't hurt.
Yes.
And I'm not kidding. This has been a problem for a couple of years now, and it doesn't hurt.
Yeah. It's amazing. They'll find their way in through pain.
Yeah.
And any weakness at all. It's like water through rocks. They just keep trying. They just keep trying.
And here's the other thing that was, I just have to, because I'm using myself as an example to people. So I'm not trying to talk over the top of my guests. I'm just explaining so that if you do this, you'll know what to expect. Okay. When you did the final thing, Tony, we did another check to see if there's any kind of gaps or any kind of holes. And then I was like, you could just feel it. You could sense it. This is really random and weird because it's not connected to any particular major chakra point. I felt this weakness in the auric field near my leg at the bottom. And get this, I asked the angels to seal it up because if I didn't, amorous men could get through. What's that about?
There you go. You got to be careful of that.
What's that about? It was like unwanted attention could get through, right? And I could feel that there was just, everything was beautiful except for this little, it was like a bit thinner in one part of the auric field. And it wasn't even connected to, it was not near anywhere. It wasn't near my lady bits or anything. It was just, it was near my leg, like, what is that? So they're just trying to get in anyway. Would that be, so the reason why I'm asking this is, would that be, it's not necessarily the men, but maybe the entities attached to those men who,
because this is the thing as well.
Yeah.
Whoever you're
intimate with,
whatever you,
yes, I call it sexually transmitted demons.
Exactly. And this is the new thing. This is the new energy. You've got to bear in mind that you're not just taking that person on face value,
and
you're
it's not just the jab energy. So many people are scared of the jab and like, I don't want to be with anyone that's jabbed, and because I can get their whatever monkey virus, whatever thing going on. It's the demons. You're inheriting their trauma. You're inheriting their, that's really awful, isn't it?
And we don't really have any clue how powerful.
I'm going to be celibate for the rest of my life.
How powerful that exchange of energy is when you do the deed. It's a sacred, incredible exchange of energy. And if you're exchanging that energy with someone that's got a massive, big old demon attached, then you've
got
to.
I just had a thought, JC, when you said that. You said you were going to be celibate for the rest of your life.
I think so.
No, what you're going to do is send these people to us, just like you would.
Just so I can shag them. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah. So just like you send them to us.
You and your demons.
Get a blood test.
Get rid of them.
Let's get you clean.
Let's get you clean. Just like you would in the medical.
Just a big gurney.
Go get an STD test.
Clean those gussets. Yeah.
Do you know, we joke about this, but seriously, this needs to be done.
Yeah, STD test, a sexually transmitted demon test.
Demons.
Tony, you can inspect the bollocks.
Yep. Well, I got it. We'll see if you have any sexually transmitted demons.
I got one guy I can send to you. Can you go clean him up? Go clean him up and bring him back.
I'll do it. I got it. But it's funny. Oh my God,
I love it.
I just had, when you said that, I had that thought pop in my head, and I just had to say it because it just, send them to us. We'll clean them up. We'll do a test. And
then we'll do regular tests. And then I'll shag
do regular tests.
We'll just check up. I haven't given you anything, JC. No, all good. Looks great. Keep going. I mean, I think back to my 20s and when I was running around with one leg in the air, and I just, I just think how many things were hooked in.
We had no idea.
Oh.
Like, something like, hey, I love you. And, like, everyone's just pashing each other, and and
Yeah.
you're at a bar. I mean, can you imagine? No wonder people were a mess.
Yeah.
People were a mess. They're like emotional wrecks after this big night on the town, and oh my gosh,
That's why, because you're scrambled by everybody's energy and everybody's demons. And you literally see videos, don't you, of people drunk in the streets, and one demon jumps out of somebody into someone else, and you can see it on the video, the energy. And there's a really famous one, and as this dark energy jumps out of somebody into someone else, the guy nearly falls over. Have you seen it?
Yeah, and he goes like that. Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, it's so crazy. So, what can you, if somebody's watching this video, let's say an audience member of mine shares it with a family member who might be a bit skeptical. I mean, after 10 years of doing this, Laura, and 10 years plus, because you've also done other work as well, and doing psychotherapy, did you do trauma release sort of therapy, trauma-based therapies and stuff like that?
For a long time now, I've been specializing in the quantum side of things, but I've done all of it.
So and you also know family traumas and things like that, and these. But now that you've got these actual embodied things in the in the energy fields around us, personified energies of darkness, can you please tell people this is real? It's not an imaginary thing, and just because it's an inconvenient truth, it doesn't mean it's not real.
Yeah.
Right.
No, it's absolutely real. And I mean, I never thought I would be doing this work. I mean, I know now it's what I've always supposed to be doing, but I wouldn't have ended up where I am now doing what I am doing now if I hadn't have seen so much stuff that made me think, oh my goodness, what is going on? This is, I need to know more about this. I need to help people to learn about this, because it's almost like I want to tell the entire world, everybody, look, this is what's going on. But so many people are not open to the concept of it.
No, it really is confronting. Even for people who believe in this, they don't want to admit it. I know people who I've witnessed getting an exorcism, and then 2 months later, they tell me they don't believe in demons and witches and stuff. And I just go, what the hell? They just don't want it. They just shut it down. They don't want to hear it. Is that a trait of someone who's usually got really heavily entity attachments? Is this, what's it called? Self-sabotage, and you give them a solution to getting better and they reject it, or they'll miss an appointment, or is that usually the entity within them is creating the self-sabotage?
And it's the entity, it's not the individual. It's whatever it is that's hitching a ride on that person is making them feel like they don't want to do it. And we get that a lot. You get people cancelling, and you'll go back and forwards, and then eventually you'll manage to get them in there, and you take a whole host of stuff off them, and they feel amazing. But if you get that reticence from people, all of a sudden, oh, I don't want to do it, sorry, can we cancel? And you're like, no, get on the bed.
Yes, I see a lot of that.
Let's do this.
The self-sabotage. I do want to show everyone your website. I mean, I'm not going to, I can keep talking to you guys forever, but I'm just going to show you guys both your, so Laura, let me just share screen. That would help if I could actually share the screen.
While you're doing that, JC.
Yeah.
One thing too, and this is the best part of the sessions, and the proof is in the pudding on how this works. In the pre-session chat, people are a little dull. They're a little dull. They're a little run down. And afterwards,
wasn't I fabulous beforehand?
Well, you're fabulous all the time, but I still, it doesn't matter. In the follow-up after the session when we chat,
like
you are glowing. You are physically feeling greater. You're lighter. We almost have to freaking hold you back because you're going to float out the door. And so the proof is in the pudding, and then feeling that stuff lifting off of you. So that's what makes it real, is this stuff coming off you. The body starts healing, and things start changing. You feel lighter, you feel better, and you feel just more vibrant, and you're brighter, and you can see it
And
on your face.
confirmation. We got a couple of confirmations. Laura, I don't know if you know this, but during this session when Tony was sending in the angels to eliminate something that was done, that was sent to me, there was this loud bang. It was like this explosive bang behind me. And I thought something had fallen over, and I actually came out of the hypnosis and I went like this. I went straight back into the hypnosis, which was amazing. But I was like shocked because there was this loud bang behind me, and I thought everything fell over, and it was literally this thing breaking, whatever it was, the spell or whatever it was broke. And then I went afterwards to go check. Nothing had fallen. It sounded like something had fallen, but it was the energy had exploded. And then I got confirmation from someone that at that exact same time, they heard a loud bang, massive explosion, exact same time. We calculated it and we worked out that she also heard this loud bang at the same time. And there's so much more confirmations of things happening that they actually said that the higher self and the angels said was going to happen, then happened. And we had proof of it. And that's why I knew, and it was like an unusual thing. It wasn't like, it was a very unusual thing that they were describing. And then we got confirmation that that exact thing happened. So everybody, you need to, so you're listening to us, this is intriguing you, you're thinking it's a solution to, because I get emails and messages from people all the time, especially after I interviewed Quiet Bear, saying that they want to have a session with Quiet Bear. Now, Quiet Bear is one man. By all means, email him, but you need to take your healing into your own hands. Now, you can book a session with Laura or Tony, and I will show both of their websites and I will show their YouTube channels. But here's the thing, let's make more people practitioners. Let's build an army of healers, and let's do this. Let's do this session. And you've got a special for us today, Laura. So you go in here. So this is Laura's website, schhofficial.com. So that's Soul Center Healing Hypnosis Official.com. There's a description here on what this is. You can either book in with Laura. She'll show you who she is. Amazing stuff. Laura's also an author who writes amazing books that I just am absolutely thrilled about now. So if I click on book now, Laura's got a special for people who are watching the show today for this upcoming course. So for JCK subscribers, is this right? So we've got this, you've got a discount. And this course is coming up. It's a live course. It's not like you can do it and then do it in a couple of months' time offline. This particular one is for this one that's run in June, 1st, 2nd and 3rd of June, 3-day course live. It has to be live because you're learning hypnosis. There needs to be a practice thing going on. You need to be able to read people. You need to be able to watch them. I did Gordon Smith's his first course, a clinical hypnotherapy course, and we had to like practice on each other, and we had to practice our hypnotic voice. And now you will be very sleepy. And now,
beautiful,
Tony. I love Tony's voice. Isn't it? Now, can you do your voice, Tony?
Let's get you into Laura's course so you can do this as well, JC.
Oh my gosh. So it's at 1 p.m, which is in
UK time.
UK time, but I'm trying to think of what is it?
It's pretty late in Australia.
It is.
I have got some Australians on already next week.
22. So 10 p.m. It starts at 10 p.m. our time. Is that correct?
Yeah. And what those guys tend to do is sleep in the day and just swap their day around.
Yeah, I've done that before. Yeah.
But also as well, if it gets too late and you're too tired, you will get the recording of all 3 days. So if you need to drop out early, it's not a problem. As well as those 3 live days, you get 31 pre-recorded training videos as well, in addition of me teaching you how to do this. You get a 200-page manual, you get a scripts document, and after you come through the other side of the course, I send you 20 live videos of myself hypnotizing people, and you get to see all of these really, really intricate and incredible demon release sessions, which I do not put on YouTube because I would just get banned.
Yes.
if I put that on YouTube, they would just take me down. So
have you seen it all? I'm sure you have, Laura.
The things that I have seen,
and heard,
many people would not believe. Yeah.
Wow. Have you seen it in paranormal things happening?
Oh, I've seen all sorts of things. Yeah, absolutely all sorts of things.
You heard a bit of my story. Was that a bit creepy, or
no? That's
pretty standard.
That's pretty standard. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. All sorts of stuff. You get all sorts going on, you know, with people turning up in session, spirits turning up in session, and knocking and banging.
Yeah,
and,
that bang was freaking me out.
Sometimes
that was going across space and time through all quantum fields. That bang, that was weird. It was like, you
have to make sure people's animals are kept out of the way, because sometimes they can be manipulated and get involved. Everybody's phones have to be out of the room, because even if you switched it off, they will sometimes tamper with the phones and try and make them come on to bring someone out of a hypnotic state. So when I teach people on the courses, there's all sorts of safety checks.
So you think that could the bang have been to get me out of a hypnotic state, or do you think it was the end of, because it was as he was counting down, he said, right, sending in the angels now, counting down from 3. And then as you said that, there was this bang.
I think from what you've said, that's more likely that it was the hold of that
thing breaking,
being released,
because it was pretty big thing. Yeah.
But yeah, there's pretty much anything you can think of will happen.
Oh, I love it. I just think this is fascinating, and we've got so many people who watch my show who are ready to change their careers as well. How long do you think? I mean, Tony, you were like really, you threw yourself into the study, but you were working at the same time, right? You were working, and you have your ranch, and but you really dedicated yourself. So how long do you think it took for you to do the course, and then because you did BQH therapy, you did that as well? You did that before? Okay.
A little bit. So for a few months, but it was only friends and family and who I could talk to. In-person stuff is what I was doing. Mm-hmm. But once I had a session with Laura and we opened up that flow, it just freaking just blew out the window. And I liken it to, we're remembering. We've done this before. Mm-hmm. We're just remembering how we used to do it, and it all comes back. Like, I mean, I'm talking like I've been doing this shit for 10 years.
I say, that's fantastic. I just wanted to quickly say, this is Laura's YouTube channel. Everybody, Laura needs more subscribers. She has amazing videos. Let's look at some of her videos. So everybody who doesn't know, I've been trying to tell you this for years. When you go to a YouTube channel, there are tabs up here and you can click them. And there's videos, right? And look, all her videos. She didn't just make 4 videos. She made a whole heap. Look, there's some guy that looks familiar. Where is it?
Look at that hot guy over there in that thumbnail. That hot guy.
Look at
looks like
guy.
Jason Momoa.
Much better. You look like a Viking. Jason Momoa is not. No. You look much better than him. Okay. And then we've got, look at these fabulous, amazing, you've got playlists. Let's have a look at the playlist really quickly. She's got entity release playlist, meditation playlist, her interviews, videos on ETs, videos on fairy tale creatures, videos on the event. Are you talking about the solar flash?
Yeah. That was my absolute passion.
Ooh,
and
that came through in my sessions like last year when I did a hypnotherapy session. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
All of my videos used to be around the flash and ascension and new earth and all of that stuff.
Is it still happening?
Yeah, I think we're in a process now, but I think there's a lot more work that we needed to do. And I think a lot of this work is taking these dark energies off so we can get out of here.
Yes, that's right. Because there's a theory. So if this is let's say the solar flash is a reset. I'm going to change subjects here. could it be that this is what Bear said? He thinks that because they invade our realm, they come and go, and maybe during a reset they leave again, and then we have another kind of new earth thing, and it's a new cycle. And so there's no more parasitic energies interfering with us. That's essentially what a new earth would be earth without parasites interfering with us, right? But let's all do this. Let's all get this course going. Go to Laura Whitworth's YouTube channel. So there's Laura's thing. You're going to click. So you go to her channel. The links are going to be below. Check it out. And you have to book in the next couple of days. And
make sure that you put that JC referred you, so we know where we got this.
Yes. Well, you've got a special tab there. So if they press book, do they have to put a code in or no? It's as long as it's...
that one's just for your guys. Yeah.
Okay. So there is a discount there. She's made it 444 instead of 49999. And that's fantastic. And anyway, they can email you if there's any issues, if they,
absolutely.
Okay, with that. And then we've got this fellow. Look at this guy. Now listen, can I just show you? I don't know if you'll be able to see this. I might have to stop share. You are the spitting image of my brother. Absolute spitting image. I showed my brother and he cracked up laughing and he goes, I love him. I'm like, yeah, of course you love him because it looks like you. You are the spitting image of my brother. And I do want to show, I don't know if you can see this. Can you see that? No, I have to stop sharing.
No,
okay.
You have to share your other screen.
All right. So I'll share my other screen. Right, here we go. That's my brother. You're looking, yeah. So his eyes look a bit wide there, but you do. I can probably show you some other photographs of him, and he looks just like you, Tony.
He's going to be pissed you're showing him on your show.
No, he's going to love it. He loves all the attention. He's an attention whore. Yes, he does. And Tony, the name Tony runs in my family as well. So there you go. Maybe we could have been related somehow. I don't know how that works.
Oh, we are related. We're all soul family.
Yeah. And let me go back to, let me just go show Tony's YouTube. So you can book in with Tony. So go to ropesandwings.com. He's got the section.
You're not sharing.
Oh, I'm just staring at this myself and not sharing. Yeah. Okay, here we go. Might help if I press share. I'm staring at stuff.
Well, you don't have to share it if you don't want to. My YouTube's not as impressive as Laura's.
It doesn't matter. So people may want to listen to your voice when they're getting going through hypnosis. And but Laura, you've got how many practitioners now? Have you got like a list on your website of various practitioners around the world, or?
Yeah, there is a list on the website, but the only ones that are listed on there are the ones that are ready to take external clients. So I've trained up about 150 people now over the world, but I want that to be, 10 times as many.
We need as many
100
as possible.
times.
Look at this fella. Yeah. Look at this guy. This guy. Do you carry a lasso around with you?
A lasso? No, I carry my sword.
Oh, that's right. And what else did you say? You got your
my love bow.
Love bow. I got my love bow. Okay, and he shoots love arrows at these demons from Tennessee. Okay, so
no, I shoot them at people that trigger me.
Oh, that's right.
And
listen, I need a whole truckload of these arrows to shoot at all the people that trigger me. Just kidding. My triggers are getting less. I'm getting more compassionate and patient. So you can go to Tony's as well, and you can book in with him. And listen, can I just show everyone the shop? Because I just saw these T-shirts and I'm like, I want this shirt.
Oh, yeah.
Got meat. Sorry, vegans. I want this color.
Mm-hmm. So there you go.
It's kind of meaty. That looks really nice. So, okay. But anyway, so go to his quantum healing tab. And then Tony also has a YouTube channel as well called Ropes and Wings. He's just started out, and it's very awesome. So you've been putting some of your sessions up. You've been doing a lot of wonderful things with Laura. You're helping Laura train people. Is that right?
Yeah, I don't know why she wants me to help her. I don't.
From the second,
She's
from
got
the
a
second,
fetish for Grizzly Adams.
from the second I connected with his energy, and I know you will get this. I know
I did
you'll get
too.
this.
Yeah.
I just thought, yeah, he's the one. He's the one. I've been looking for someone for a good long while to help me with the training, because
Wow.
it's hard to do it all by yourself. And he came on the course, and from the second, and he was actually my live example. So he was my hypnotherapy volunteer. So I hypnotized him live on the course. So I got to talk to him a little bit more than everybody else. And I thought, yeah, if I'm going to work with anybody, it's going to be him. So yeah, Tony is now training with me on the courses.
It's got to do with frequency, definitely. But I remember when Mark and I had, because we just put the Zoom link out into the audience, and then Tony came on, and I remember Mark and I was like, there's something about that guy. Like we just felt this frequency, and it was like, he's so good. Like there was just something impressive. And I think you were at that stage of, you were just starting to leave. And we were talking to a lot of people who wanted to leave their jobs because of what was happening in the world, getting disillusioned. And we were trying to help people find other career paths. And I think this is the time of the healer. This is why I've got this thing in my channel, which is called Highlight on Healers. And I wanted to make sure that I use my platform to not only get the help for people, because there's one thing in asking for help and receiving the healing, but then to take the bull by the horns and go, now that I'm, healer, heal thyself, right? So let's now use this and my other gifts to help others. Maybe you've already done, for example, a clinical hypnotherapy course or something, and then you want to add this to it. Or maybe you've already done BQHT or whatever, and you want to add something to it. Or maybe you've got some other modality and you want to just add another skill set to your business. I think that we need to get more and more people out there doing this. It's just absolutely fascinating. And the more I talk about it, people think that I'm obsessed with demons. I'm not obsessed with, I just think that the whole thing is fascinating, that we live in this realm that is overrun by parasitic energies that are becoming more and more obvious to me. Yeah. And that I'm seeing people I love being consumed by these parasites. And there's nothing to be guilty about, because everybody's had them. Everybody has them, or has had them. And until we're aware of those things, how do we get rid of them? We keep trying these different things and they're not working. We're trying pharmaceuticals, like Tony said, and they're not working. Laura, how do we, I was going to ask you something and now it's slipped my mind. I was going to say, how do we know, do we need to do this all the time? Do we need to do this regularly? Do we need to, when we remove some of the major ones, because my higher self said she needs to have another session in the future, so
I think it's good practice for everybody to get cleaned and cleared every 6 months. But when you've had the main bulk of all of these things shifted out that we've accumulated over the years because of all of the traumas that we've gone through as we've been growing up, once you've had that main bulk moved out, then it's a whole different deal. Then your aura's stronger. In the hypnotherapy, we help you work on your emotional links that have allowed these entities to come in. So if you heal your emotional traumas, then they're not going to be there anymore. So you're not going to be an energetic frequency or resonance that's going to attract these guys anyway. And when you're stronger and in your power, they can't come anywhere near you anyway. But the only way that they could get back in is if you have another trauma. Say you have a grief or something that affects the heart, or makes
maybe a car accident or something.
Yeah, an injury, anything like that. That's when they could get back in. So I think it's the same as anything, like a healthcare thing, where you go every 6 months, you get checked out for this, you get checked out for that. We should be getting our energy checked out as well, because that's the biggest thing. If these things get attached to your energy, eventually it will begin to affect your physical body, and that's the end of the line. once they're affecting the physical body, they've been there a long time. So let's not let it get to that point where you're having physical issues. Let's get them off the energy, clean you up so that the physical body feels amazing. And when you've not got these things attached, you feel so strong.
Yeah.
You've got so much energy coursing through your entire body. You feel like you could fly.
Yeah.
And that's how we're supposed to feel. And if you have one of these sessions, that is how you will feel after you've had one.
I've had to
when
rest
you-
quite a bit. I'm just,
Yeah.
Yeah.
And when you make that connection and open up that flow, I think you are more apt to help clear yourself off and help clear everybody else off as well.
Yeah.
So, there's occasional that monkey that's on your back you just can't reach, and you need help of some other healer to help you out to get to that and get it off you. But I think it'll start opening up, and you'll be able to clear a lot of it. You'll realize that you need protections up and protect your space and be mindful of your thoughts and stuff.
Yeah, I felt there was a stronger connection to the angelic realms for me after the session. So now this is the thing, is I live in this space my whole life. I've already, I have these conversations with my higher self all the time, or guides or whatever, but I didn't realize how I wasn't really talking to anything for a long time, or I wasn't fit, it was just my own inner guidance. But I really felt now recently more admiration and more I just felt a reverence to the angelic realms and what they do for us, and how quickly they can just, in quantum states, in different all spaces and time, they can travel through and quickly eradicate things or bring light to those things. There's so much I could talk about and ask about. I want to go on and on and on and ask all these questions. This is what I wanted to ask, Laura. In your experiences in hypnotherapy, one of the things that came through in my session, and this is, I do this all the time, like I do remote viewing, I do all these things. This is not a big deal to me. And yet, my higher self is saying this unbelievable information coming through this, and it just talks and talks and talks like it's reading something, but it's just coming through this information. And they said, when you come out of this session, you're going to doubt everything that you've just heard and just said, right? But this is true, and we wish to reiterate, or we wish to say to you that this is true. We can assure you this is true. Blah blah blah. So they said that it's natural for you to doubt, because this is the density you live in. It's a very it's a very confusing, inverted sort of reality. So I want to ask you this: sometimes you'll have a client under hypnosis, their higher self, their unconscious mind is coming through with these amazing truths, universal truths, because they're tapped into everything, they're connected to everything, so they're tapping into stuff. How accurate can that information be? Is it biased? Is it a biased information, or is it filtered through that person's perception only, and therefore maybe it's wrong? How do you know whether it's true or not? Do you know what I'm trying to ask?
Yeah, absolutely. I think you can always tell when you've got that higher consciousness, because it has a frequency and a resonance all of its own. And for us as practitioners, when people's higher self starts talking, I always just want to cry, because I always know my heart feels when that energy is of the higher frequency.
Different cadence as well. There's a different sort of,
and it's always, I feel so grateful, and it's incredible to be involved in that. But I think what I find is, in these higher realms, when you connect to the higher consciousness, everything is always happening in the now. It's happening now. It's already happened. It's happening now. It's happening now. It's in the now. It's already done. Don't worry about it. Because you're connected at that higher level. And so people get all of this amazing information in these sessions, and they're like, yes, the ascension's happening now, the event's happening now, all of this stuff. And then when we come back down into this density, there just seems to be this disparity, and people then start to doubt it and not trust it and go, well, you know, you said, your higher self said, blah, blah, blah. But in that higher level of consciousness, it's all good. It's all good.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's all done. It's all done. The light's
Mhm.
won. Everything's fine. Just trust. And
Well, they
be,
did give me
and, you know,
they gave me a date, which is like a big no. And then they said, we know, what did they say? They said, although you know time does not exist, we can assure you that in this month, this thing will happen. Because they knew I was going, fucking don't give me time.
don't you give me a date.
Don't you give me a date. Is it this year or what? Yeah, it's
Yeah.
so funny because they do say it's just in the now, and I understand that, but that's where because sometimes it is quite fantastical and it is always very emotional, and there's two things going on, because sometimes your unconscious mind is saying this one thing and then the you is realizing what it's saying, and then you might feel emotion as it's coming through. That's what happened to me, that there was something that they said and then I got emotional and I got choked up as they were saying it. And and it's always a different pattern of breathing and the way it's spoken, isn't it?
Very, very different.
It's that kind of there's that kind of breath, isn't there? Yeah Very high frequency.
And the higher self always has your highest good and heart, and it will never like talk bad at you or talk down to you. It's always loving, and it's just beautiful, that energy coming through at the time.
It is.
So
it's wonderful, all of it.
I just think it's bliss. I love what you do, and thank you so much for coming on. I want to keep talking to you guys, but I've got to sleep soon. I've got a big interview tomorrow, so I've got to So everybody watching, please go to Laura's site. I've put the links below. There we go. It's right there.
It's right there.
So don't sit there and go, where's the link? Okay, description, Laura. So Laura Whitworth. So her course, which is starting on the 1st of June. If you're watching this after the date, Laura said that she runs courses. So keep checking her website. She runs courses every month, live courses. You may see Tony there. Are you helping out with this one, Tony? Tony.
I'm in everyone that I could. I'm in everyone. So she made me do it. I love it. That's one thing I was going to say too, is we didn't talk about like mentorship. So you take the course and stuff, and you have us amazing practitioners. If you have a question, assistance, I mean, we have our own chat group and Telegram, that if you need assistance, you just put it out there, and me, Kaz, Heather, all the amazing practitioners that are there will help. Laura's there too, and she's amazing. So if you ever have a question or a problem, we're there to help and answer. And if you are going to have a difficult session, we'll send you all the help you need, and we'll be there right with you. So
right. I was going to ask if there was a chat group or something where the people joining the course could go into and talk to each other and practice, maybe make little groups afterwards to practice, on each other and things like that. Because I know we did that in our other hypnosis course. And so all the links will be below for that. Laura, is there anything else you want to say? Did we leave anything out that we need to say? When they sign up, is there obviously a greeting email with links and things?
Yeah, so that I'm glad you said that, because obviously we're working in different time zones. So when they buy the course on my website will send a thank you response back, but it's physically me that will send the information. So if you book on and it's the middle of my night, don't panic if you don't hear anything from me straight away, because I'm probably asleep. But as soon as I wake up, I will see the people that are booked on, and I'll get everything across to you. There is a lot of videos and a lot of information to read, but don't worry if you don't get a chance to do that before the live days, because you can always go back and rewatch those live days when you've had time to read the manual and watch the videos.
Fantastic.
So it's all good.
And okay, this is great. You're going to get busy, Laura?
I hope so. I really do.
You're going to get a lot of people wanting to
hope
book
you do.
in. Tony, you're going to get a lot of people wanting to book in with you. You also have other practitioners. So please feel free to share those people as well. And they're amazing. And I've heard some of the sessions done on Tony with, what was her name again?
Well,
Beautiful voice.
Heather.
Kaz did one and Heather did one as well.
Heather,
You
I
heard
think it's
you
Heather.
heard Heather's.
Heather Hink, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's got
Yep.
a beautiful voice, and this is just an amazing modality. So everybody, please get on board and do this. I don't know if I have time to do the course. I've got all these things booked already this week. I wish I knew, but that's okay, guys. There's another one coming up. We'll do it.
And I was going to say to you,
yes,
I would arrange one that fits your schedule. So you just let me know when you've got a 3-day block that'll be good for you, and we can set one up. Probably for Australian time zone. I used to do one for Australian time zone, but I dropped it off around Christmas because the numbers started to just dwindle a little bit.
Okay.
So we can do that, so it's more convenient for you.
Yeah, it'll probably be like, it'll probably be your morning. You probably have to do it like your morning, and then it'll be our evening or something like that. Yeah.
That's what I did last time. I think it was 7 a.m. start for me.
Oh, and you've got
fine.
You got 3 kids. You got 3 kids.
I have, but my wonderful husband will be looking after them.
That's great. Wow. I'm so blessed to have met you all. Thank you, Tony, for reaching out when you saw my post. He's like, right, I'm going to contact her, and then you started. That was fantastic, because we were trying for about a year to get an interview. I was trying to get you on, and I kept missing you, and things kept delaying and stuff. So this is just all divine timing. And Laura, thank you for your service to humanity. Thank you, because I can feel that this is so important. And we quickly wrangled this interview very quickly. I had to experience it for myself to tell you about it. And I don't talk about things I don't like or don't care about. And this is a brilliant, I love every part of this. I love every part of this. I want to wrap up now, but I just remembered something that I did want to ask you. Right. Sorry. I just remembered something. So I was talking about, I wrote this whole thing, I could read it to you, but I wrote this little soliloquy about the dark infiltrating us and how things get hooked into us. And I wanted to ask you, essentially, when these things are attached to us, they are blocking us from our heart connection, correct? Would you say that?
Absolutely. And by siphoning the energy, they always aim for the sacral or the solar plexus and cause a big blockage there to stop the heart from opening. Because, like I say, as soon as our heart opens into that really big toroidal field and opens out, and that touches other humans and their heart starts opening out, it's game over. Everybody's hearts will open. So what they normally do is block underneath that heart chakra, the lower energy centers, so that the heart can't open. It's all about heart energy. Heart energy is everything, because heart energy is love, and love is everything.
All you need is love.
Break out in the song, Tony.
And Laura could train 12 million souls, and that would still not be enough for the amount of people that we need.
Well, I have faith. You'll train trainers. You'll train us, and then we'll train other people.
Absolutely. And then it just goes on and on and on till everybody is healed. And then it's over, isn't it?
Absolutely wonderful. I want to keep doing. Can I do one every week? Can you?
Yeah.
Sure.
Okay, great. I would love it. I just want to see what else is coming through. What other motherfuckers come on? There's one on my toe. Get out of here. I love it. It's fantastic. This is beautiful. Thank you so much, both of you. I love you both. And we'll keep chatting. Thank you, guys.
So much.
Guys, get on board. Thank you so much. Love you all.
Love you.